Hey, everybody. Hello, and welcome to all of you to the first Facebook Live that I've done in 2019. I'm trying some new software here, so I want to make sure this works. So let me know if you see me and if you can hear me. And I'm going to share this on my page while we're doing this. And this is called How to Get Whatever You Want. And are you ahead of your time? And those things go together. And I'm going to explain that in just a bit. All right. So thank you guys for being here. I'm not sure if I can see comments with this new software I'm using. So if not, I will go back and fill those comments in. But just hop in right now and let me know if you can hear me. So write down in the comments if you can hear me. I have some great information to share with you all about the new year. So let me know if you can hear me, and I hope that you can, because I got some really good stuff going on. All right, well, I'm just going to start, and hopefully you can hear me. So I have this magical power called what Roberta calls Meliss magic, and that is basically where I get whatever I want all the time. And this can be anything from driving to the grocery store in the pouring rain and wanting the first or second parking spot and always getting it no matter what, even if the parking lot is full to the max. Or this could be anything like, I need to find someone to do this very complicated task for me in this budget that I have, which seems like absolutely not going to happen. And I will find a highly skilled person to do this very complicated task exactly in my budget. So things like that, it happens all the time. And I always end up being able to manifest what I want and putting the right action towards what I'm trying to achieve. And so what I want to talk to you guys a little bit about today is that here we are, 2019, really hard to believe. 2018 flew by, and that could sound a little cliche because I'm sure you guys say that every year. I hope you can hear me. I'm putting this a little closer, where the year just flies on by. And when we look back, we say, wow, that year went so fast. But while we're going through it, it doesn't go as fast. And I have two boys, they're 12 and 10. And when I'm living the everyday with them and I'm making dinner for them and I'm picking them up from school and taking them to activities, sometimes it feels tiring or there's just so much work involved. But when I look back and remember how old they were and how they were when they were 2 or 3 or 4, you're like, wow, the time just totally ran away from me. And I wanted to hold on to that moment. It just ran away. So it's really important to understand that time is a very unique yet complicated idea that we can use to our advantage. So 2019's here. What are you going to do differently this year than last year in your life and in your business? And what's really interesting is, you know, I like to start out the year with a vision board, and I create all these ideas around what I'm trying to achieve in my personal life, financially, in my business life, with friends, with family, and it could be a physical change, like a health thing, in all different areas of my life. And I really meditate on what it is I want to achieve in every single aspect of my life. And then I put it up on a board and I stare at it every morning. I look at it, I reread everything, and I feel like I'm getting all of these things, like they are coming to me. And so I've been reading a lot of personal development books. It's my favorite genre. I've been going to yoga class lately, way more than I usually do, really getting into that spiritual realm and being able to manifest some really great shit in my life. And I want to share with you some things that I've pulled from different books and different ideas that I've come across, and just from some of my own findings that I think you'll find very helpful and possibly like mind-blowing. So when we say that somebody is ahead of our time, ahead of their time. Like, you think of somebody in history who has made some astronomical change where at a time in history they were seen as lunatics or witches or totally crazy. They possibly were tortured or jailed or made fun of or killed for having such crazy ideas. And then years later, hundreds of years later, we find out these are the mothers and fathers of our culture and our history. They're the reasons why we think or do things the way that we do now. They've discovered some amazing things that have helped us in humanity, with our civilization, or the way that, you know, we think about this world. And they were the great minds. And we say they were so ahead of their time. And I want to break down for you what that is. So being ahead of our time means that you're doing something before everyone else is on board for it. You're doing it ahead of the mainstream coming in to do this same thing or think this same way, this thought. But what it really is a thought that you have in your mind that you then project into the future later on down the timeline. So for example, when you're setting a goal or an intention towards something, like many of you try to do at the beginning of the year, for example, you can say, I want to make $50,000 a month starting in July. Or you can say, I want my kids to be enrolled in this very prestigious school and we are at the bottom of the wait list and we want it to happen. We want that to happen in August. Something that you're like, oh, I don't know if I can make that happen, but I really want to make that happen. You're going to put that thought into the timeline later on down the road, right? So we're here in January, and let's say I want something to happen for me in August. I want to make $100,000 in August. So August is a far time from now. It's later on down that timeline. So I need to first think that thought. I need to manifest that idea with excitement, all the energy of that coming true, or even as little as I'm going to get the first parking spot at Kroger at the grocery store when I'm, hey, Stephanie, thanks for being on. When I'm going in the rain, I want that first spot. So whatever it is, that's a future thought. And then feel how excited you get knowing that, yes, I had $100,000 month in August, even though we're in January. So you imagine it as though that is now, and that energy and that excitement and those butterflies you feel in your stomach and that thought that you create, you are putting down later on in the timeline, in the future, ahead of your time. So you're putting it way in advance of what's actually happening now. And what that means is that thought and that energy has now been laid out for you. It's in your future, and that pinpoint and that milestone has been laid out for you. And now how we get from where we are now to that mile marker that you put down is a path that is laid out. So when you create this thought and you place it into the future, you are essentially ahead of your time, because energy is what creates everything, even when it comes down to small atoms and things like that. Energy is what creates everything. When you want something to happen, you need to put your energy and your focus into it. When you want to lose weight, you need to put your energy into burning calories. You're always using energy, and our thoughts are a form of energy, and energy is what creates tangible things that we can hold on to. So when you are creating the thought in present time for an activity that happens in the future, you are actually ahead of your time. You are actually creating your future. You are being intuitive. You can be psychic or woo-woo or whatever you want to think of it, but you are creating that event to take place and transpire in the future by placing that thought in your mind now for a later on down time frame. You've now essentially created the future. Now, how do you know that you're really going to get what you want? You have a path from where you are now to the mile marker that you just placed. And therefore, you have set that intention so that you can create that reality. You're going to create that reality for yourself. So if there are things that you want to change in your life or with your interpersonal relationships or with your family, or your close loved ones or in your business, and this is your year, this is what you need to create something amazing for yourself. Maybe you've been struggling with it for a long time, but this is the time and this is the place and year that it's going to take place. Create that thought of what you want. Really think about it, because your thoughts are important. Don't just say, yeah, I want this. Yeah, maybe this, maybe this. No, think of like one thing that you really, really want. It would just make everything so much more powerful in your life. You'd be a happier person. You'd be less stressed. You'd be able to really devote quality time to the people you really love and want to be with and share your time with, because maybe you have more time or whatever it is. Think of that one thing, that one piece of the puzzle that's just going to make everything click, and really focus on that one thing and what you really want. And then with it, come with that energy and that excitement of what it feels like to already have it, and be extremely grateful for it as though you already got it. So in my example, I want to make $100,000 in August, then for that month. Then I would say I am so grateful for the $100,000 month I just had, and like all that giddy feeling and all that excitement and those butterflies. Like really create that energy by taking your mind to that future place. Then you've laid out this path. Now, the path does come with action. It's not just, I'm going to meditate and $1,000 million are going to come my way. It doesn't work that way, but that is an essential part of it. So I want you to think about what it is you really want, create the energy around it, be grateful for it as though it's already here, and then realize that all that's separating from you and the thought that you've put into the future, you're already ahead of your time, is that path, this golden path. And I want you to think of it as like a digital path that can change. Like it's only 2 steps ahead of you. That path is not just like tar and concrete and that's the way we're going to get there. It could be that every single decision you make can take you here or here or here or here, and it might change a little bit, it might deviate a little bit, but eventually it's going to get you to where you're going, that thought that you've already placed into the future, because you are ahead of your time. So now that thing is definitely coming to you, but now you just need to get there. It's waiting for you in the future down the road on your timeline. And every decision you make and every thought that you have needs to be in line with you getting to that mile marker on your timeline. So if you're an entrepreneur and there's a lot of ups and downs in your business, and one month you have a ton of money and the next month you don't, and one month you've signed 5 clients and you feel like you're the coolest person in the world, and the next month you can't afford to pay your employees and you feel like you're a total shitbag. Well, this up and down, it may happen, but if you think, oh, I suck right now, then you're going to veer off that path. You need to always have this clear vision that you've already set that intention, you've already placed that idea and that thought into the future. Therefore, it's coming for you and you're coming for it. And now you need to make every thought and every decision extremely clear towards that goal or that mile marker, so that you can deviate a little bit, but you are definitely going to get there. And don't think that that path is so rigid that it can't change. So you don't need to know exactly how you're going to get there. You just need to have thoughts and ideas and take some action towards getting you in that direction. And if it doesn't feel like the right move, you listen to your intuition, you think about it in your gut, and you say, I don't know if that fits in line with my core values. I don't know if that's really the right way to go. And don't take opportunities that give you that feeling. Just like if someone's chasing you or stalking you, or you're in a dark parking lot and you get this eerie feeling like something doesn't feel right. That's your gut. That's your instinct. And you have to go with it, because that's your intuition telling you no, not a go. And that doesn't mean that you're not going to get to that opportunity. It just means you're going to get to it a different way. So be open to the possibilities and the opportunities that are coming towards you, and take advantage of everything that gives you that butterfly feeling. If you get excited about an opportunity, that's your intuition saying, yes, that's the way to go. So go in that direction, and it will head you towards that main idea that you've been trying to reach, that you've already put out into the forefront, that you are ahead of your time. And that's what it means by saying you're ahead of your time. This book I'm reading, they talk about Martin Luther King. He was the only one that felt like, oh, I could totally start this whole civil rights movement. It's going to go well. The whole world's going to change. Everyone's going to be equal. Before he really put that thought out there, no one else was thinking it like as a massive movement. But he was ahead of his time by placing that thought way down the road on the timeline and saying, that is what's going to happen. Now I'm on the path to get there. And everything he did and every decision that he made got him to where he was, because he followed his intuition and he saw clearly that pinpoint down the road. So I encourage you to think about what that is that you really need for yourself this year. Place that thought in the future, be ahead of your time, and then just catch up to it. And know that when I said digital path, it's that your path is being created only like 1 or 2 steps ahead of you. So I envision like myself walking on this golden path where like computerized pieces of the path are coming in to be placed right in front of the steps right before I take a step onto that path. So that path has not been set as far as how you're going to get there. So every decision you make is what places the 1 step ahead of where you are going towards that goal. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have questions, post them in the comments below and I'll help come back and answer them. But I just want you to try and shift your thinking this way, because it's really important to know that you do have the power to create the life that you want, regardless of where you are now and regardless of where you've been in your past or how your life has gone up until now. It's a completely different thing to talk about what was versus what will be. And what will be is totally in your control. Not necessarily everything that happens is in your control, but what you do next is in your control, and the thoughts that you have are in your control, and the emotions that you carry and the energy that you are creating in relation to those thoughts are also in your control. So you really do have a lot of control to create and mold and build the future the way that you want it to be. So it's a new week. It's a new year. You're going into the weekend. I encourage you to really think about what it is you want this year that will make you feel like a better person, a better mom, a better dad, a better business person, a better friend, just a better you, a better version of you, something that'll make you feel really amazing. And then be ahead of your time. Think of that thought, create the energy and the excitement and the, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening feeling. Be grateful for it as though it's happening now. Like, thank you so much for creating this civil rights movement. It's going to be amazing. You know what I mean? And then be grateful for it every day and take your intuition into account when you're making decisions. Is it in line with my core value? Is it in line with my core purpose? Does it excite me? Does it help me? Does it benefit me? Does it help or benefit those around me or my clients or my business or whatever it is your goal is related to? And if the answer is yes, then that is the step that you take, the next step on the path towards that thought that you've placed later on down the timeline as a mile marker, and you will get there. So you can get whatever you want. You just have to be strategic and intuitive. And the good thing about being intuitive is, yes, some of us have that. My heater's on, it's making noise. Some of us have that just naturally. We're born with it and we feel it. Some of us can work on it and get better. But the truth is that it's something we all have the power to do. You just need to uncover that power. You need to use your Meliss magic, your version of it, and really tap into your intuition, your needs, your wants, your desires, your thoughts, your emotions, your energy, and keep it positive. So one last thought here is, now that we've laid the groundwork, we've thought about what we want and we've put that into the future, we're ahead of our time, we've laid out the groundwork of how we're going to get there by being grateful, creating that energy and excitement, and following our intuition on the path towards that goal. I want you to think about, once you've placed that thought later on down the timeline, you have created it. It will happen. So when you're wavering and you're not sure and you're like losing hope and you don't believe in it as much, that's the time where you need to really bring all that vibration together, and you really need to be your most powerful. And you can do that by thinking that it's already done. I put it there, so it's done. That's it. It's done. Not will it happen? How will it happen? Should it happen? It probably won't happen. All that is nonsense. Shut off that noise. Get rid of it and get clear with your blinders on. It's right there and I'm coming for it. It's done. It's already done. It's already in the future. It's just waiting for me. So it's all up to you. It's waiting for you. It's waiting for me to get to that mile marker. So think about that. Think about it. It's already done. And throw some positivity in there. Like, the truth is I am worthy of getting to that point, whatever that point is. The truth is I am worthy of getting my kids into the best school. The truth is I am worthy of making lots of money. The truth is I am worthy of being a happy person and not feeling depressed and anxious all the time. Whatever it is for you, just put that positivity in there and work your way towards your goal, because it's already done. It's already there. It's just waiting for you. So I hope this helps you. Thanks, Chen. I'm so happy that this helped you. And share this video. Share this video on your page and with all your friends, because this is some powerful stuff. It's different way of thinking, and you can really achieve your goals. And I know you've got a lot of people on your Facebook pages who could probably use this information too. And there's enough of everything for everyone. There's enough abundance. There's enough happiness. There's enough wealth. There's enough jobs. There's enough everything for everyone in this world. So why not share it and help someone else out? I'll see you guys next time. Bye.